The most important thing in comedy is telling the truth about characters. Comedy is the art of telling the truth, and specifically telling the truth about human beings. A paradigm, a comic equation, say, might be, it's a story about an ordinary guy or gal, Jackie Gleason used to call him a moke, struggling against insurmountable odds without many of the required skills and tools with which to win, yet never giving up hope. Those are the elements that make up a good comedy film or a good television comedy. Less than ordinary people struggling their best against larger than usual odds and trying to persevere. When we talk about the comic premise, we're talking usually we're talking specifically about a feature film, and although there's always exceptions to the rule, as a rule, the comic premise is the lie that tells the truth. It's some big whopping lie, some impossible or improbable thing that either could never happen or probably would never happen, but if it did happen, what would happen then? And a man wakes up and it's the same day over and over again. Groundhog Day, could that ever happen? No. But if it did happen, what would happen then? And what makes it a comedy, as you develop it, is it's populated by comic characters, by characters who are flawed, who are empty or misshapen in some way, and importantly, they don't know it. If it's a drama, somebody might be flawed, they might be a loser, but they're aware of it. It's a burden that weighs on them, and then you might have a drama. But in comedy, to start off with, our characters, they're not that bright, they're not that strong, they're not that ethical. In Groundhog Day, Phil Connors, the character that Bill Murray plays, is kind of a creep. He's kind of a cynical jerk, but they don't know it. And they're kind of happy to go along the way that they are, given who they are. In 40-Year-Old Virgin, Steve Carell plays Andy, a guy who at the age of 40 has never had sex. He tried when he was very young, it never worked out, and so he's kind of this arrested adolescent. And as far as he knows, he's happy, he's okay, don't bother me, you know, I'm doing okay. And what happens is that the comic premise, some impossible or improbable event comes around, and it forces our characters to do things outside of their comfort zone. And at first, in most comedies, they desperately try to return to what we call the normal world. And this is a lot about what the comic hero's journey is about. So you see Bill Murray in Groundhog Day desperately trying to figure out, how do I not wake up and have it the same day over and over again? Until the point in which he realizes he can't, and then he goes to the negotiation part of the development, in which, well, if I'm going to wake up the same day all the time, I'm going to figure out a way to go to bed with all the girls in town. I'm going to figure out a way to, rob the armored car. For 40-Year-Old Virgin, he at first he doesn't want to have to try. He says, I respect women. I respect them so much. I stay away from them. But he has this group of friends at the electronics store he works at, and they're encouraging him, no, don't just do that, go for love, reach outside yourself. So he goes, he picks up a drunk girl at a bar, he goes to a data-palooza, one of these things where every 30 seconds you meet a new girl. He tries, even though his first instinct is just forget it, hopefully they won't remember the fact that I told them I was a virgin, or it came out that I was a virgin at this poker game.